Welcome back to No BS Just News with Steve. As always, I am your host. Thanks for tuning in to the best YouTube around. Just kidding. Biden is disappointed. Excuse me, I got something in my eye here. In the Senate parliamentarian rule where she said the minimum wage increase could not be included in the coronavirus relief bill, but said the president would respect the decision. Now, here's the thing. Nancy Pelosi said minimum wage will be voted on and will be sent to the Senate. Will the Senate remove the $15 increase and respect the parliamentarian? Or will they push it through to the president and he'll sign off on it? Now, I was watching a speaker from Fox this morning, and he said that Kamala Harris doesn't support that, and she will not be the tie-breaking vote. She supports the parliamentarian decision that the $15 minimum wage increase cannot be included in the coronavirus relief bill as a reconciliation vote. Now, like I said, the House is set to vote on the bill today, the American Rescue Package, or whatever the heck it's called. Sorry, I don't have it right in front of me. Then it'll go to the Senate, and then it'll go to the president for vote. They want to get this done before March 14th because unemployment is set to end and a lot of the federal regulations are set to expire. So I actually spoke with the IRS yesterday, and he kind of gave me an inclination that you may be able to go in and update your direct deposit information once this bill is to the president and they know that it's going to be signed off on. They have possible systems in place. If you have wrong information in there, they'll let you go in and update. He said, however, that is not fact. I'm just giving you what I think is going to happen. Very nice guy. I was just trying to get some information because I know a lot of people are still going to go based off their 29 tax return, and they still have wrong direct deposit information in there. And if it goes to that account, then it will have to be rejected. If it goes to a closed account, it will have to be rejected, sent back to the IRS, which will take about another 3 weeks, and then probably another 3 weeks to get to the Americans via mail. Now, on the second stimulus check that went out January 4th to a bunch of closed bank accounts, millions of closed bank accounts, Biden signed the executive order and the IRS ended up reissuing checks to people, and a lot of people had the date of February 2nd, February 3rd, February 5th, and that they were going to be mailed out, and they actually received them on that date. So that took about 3 weeks from the time it got rejected and sent back to the bank for you to get your check received in the mail. Now, you can also call the IRS and update your address right over the phone. They say it takes 3 to 6 weeks, but it goes in effect right away. I verified my address yesterday when I was trying to verify myself, and I accidentally gave my old address, and they're like, that's not what we have on file. I gave my new one. They do have it on file. So I updated that about 2 weeks ago. Now, if you've already filed your 2020 tax return, you can update your address there, and you can put in new direct deposit information. I was talking to a good friend of mine, Archie, and he didn't agree with me in reference to the minimum wage increase of $15. He thought it might, increase cost of a lot of different things, basically just inflation. And, he had some pretty good ideas, or not ideas, but some thoughts behind that. And see, that's what I like about my buddy. He's probably one of my best friends. If you're watching this, probably is my best friend. He's a solid dude. Got a lot of good advice. Very smart. But when you have an opinion about something, make sure you have some factual evidence to back that, right? If you're gonna say, "Hey, I don't believe in this," and then just leave it, but hey, I don't believe in this, and here's why. He gave me two great examples. We were gonna end up debating that yesterday, but I got caught up in. I'm actually in a conference, 2-day conference, and I wasn't able to call him back. But we may get into it today. So if you're watching, stand by. We've also been talking, not much about this, what I'm about to tell you, but we've been talking about possibly doing a podcast together. I don't know what it would be based on yet. We've talked about doing reviews of Joe Rogan's videos and his thoughts on a lot of different things, because he discusses a lot of different topics. He interviews a lot of celebrities, a lot of people. He's interviewed Elon Musk a ton lately. Tesla made more in 2020 than almost all auto manufacturers. I mean, that's big. And then Musk turned around and put like 1.5 billion into Bitcoin, which shot it up from like 37K to 57K. I haven't looked at it recently. I know the stock market took a dump yesterday. The Dow dropped huge. But I'm not a huge stock market guy, and I don't know enough about it to sit here and talk about it. But I do know that it took a dump. And the guy that I was listening to said it's because of the digital currency, the cryptocurrency, that big increase with Bitcoin. Here's the thing. There's no utility in Bitcoin, meaning there's no security in it. So it could go from 57K to $13 right away, or 1,000. It could drop and you could lose everything you have. Will it do that? Probably not, because digital currency is becoming the new thing. I watched a Bitcoin expert who said digital currency will eventually replace everything, and every country will be on the same rate of currency, which I don't know if that is even possible. But I know they're trying to do away with cash, paper money, because of the, I would say, narcotics, war on drugs. They deal in cash because you can't put it in a bank account. They don't want to be tracked. There's some of these people carry huge sums of money, like millions and millions of dollars, and it's dirty money probably, and they don't want to put it in a bank account to be tracked. So maybe they invested in Bitcoin and things like that. I know Bitcoin is huge right now. I actually had a chance to buy Bitcoin in 2015. I was a sergeant at Perryville Complex, and one of my officers approached me and said, he had bought, I think his mom had bought like maybe 20 Bitcoins, and maybe that's an over-exaggeration, but quite a few for very, very low price. I don't even know how much it was. Let's just call it 100. At the time, it was $100. So she bought several of them. He ended up buying them. Machuca, if you're watching this, maybe you could drop a comment and share some more insight to that. But I had a chance to buy it when it was, I think it was $600 a Bitcoin. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were going to buy 3, so $1,800 worth, and split it, 900 and 900. I didn't do that because I had no idea what it was. No clue, not a clue. I wish I would have. Now, here's the thing. When it skyrocketed in like 2018 or 19, when it jumped to 20 grand, I can't remember what year that was, where it went from like $1,000 a Bitcoin or 1,200 to 20 grand, I would have sold it off. I wouldn't have hung on to it. That's just, I know myself. I would have sold it, but maybe I would have bought more, or who knows what I would have done. But I had a chance to get it when it was way lower than it is now. Another friend of mine bought it in like, I think 2011, because I think Bitcoin came around in 2008 or 9. Can't remember. But she was able to obtain it at $13 a Bitcoin, and they bought several of them. So just think now, when it's at 57K. Let's take a look at what Bitcoin is currently at. I think it's probably right around the same price. So actually it dropped 10 grand. So it's at 45,000. So it dropped almost 11 grand quickly, right? But these big time hedge funds and billionaires are going to continue to invest in it. And every time they dump a large sum of money into it, it's going to shoot it up. It's actually expected to go to 100K and over. So these people that have bought in at $13 a coin, or even like I was going to be, it was going to be $600 a coin. I would have had 3 of them. It would have cost me $900. We would have split them. So I would have had 1.5 coins. I would have made a decent amount off 900. I probably would have made, what is that? I would have made 30 grand. I would have sold it right at 20 grand. So I'd have made about 30,000, maybe less than that. And who knows what else I would have done. I probably would have got a little bit more involved in cryptocurrency. But I do have some Litecoin and stuff like that. I have invested in that, which is, it's not, at the most right now. I'm not even sure what that's at. I could take a look. But I'm going to invest. If Bitcoin drops to, let's say, back down to, I don't know, if it were to go to like $2,500 a coin, I'd probably buy a couple of them. Obviously, I can't afford to buy coins at $45,000. I think another good one to invest in right now is obviously Amazon stock. It always has been a good one to invest in. I was actually going to buy some GameStop stock until I saw this huge, crazy investigation going on, because that jumped through the roof. But if you have $1,000 laying aside, and like I said, I don't know a ton about stock market, but if you have $1,000 to invest in the stock market, go watch Stephen Gardner on YouTube or Logan Alec. Those two guys are excellent speakers in reference to stock market, what to invest in, long-term goals, long-term investments 10 years from now, because you got to look at retirement, right? Down the road, you might make a good chunk of change in your living, in your career, but once you get to a certain age, you may not be able to work anymore. And if you don't have any retirement or any savings, you are screwed, because I don't honestly think 30, 40 years from now that Social Security is going to be around, because the government continues to borrow from it. Where do you think this money's coming from? This $1.9 trillion bill. I mean, they're borrowing some of it from Social Security fund, and if I'm wrong, then please tell me so. But they are. You know what I mean? They are. We're $25 trillion in deficit, probably even more than that. I mean, it's crazy. But that's just some insight on some of my thoughts. Getting back to the podcast with my buddy, I don't know if that's going to happen, but I do know he wants to start a YouTube. So we're just kind of thinking of some ideas. He just proposed that to me the other day about starting a YouTube and just knowing what content to talk about, or I don't know. So anybody that has ideas, please drop them in my comment section down below, and I'll share them with him, and he can see my comments also. But I think he would do well. I really do. I've been doing this for a while now. I kind of slacked off. I still slack off. I actually bought a new camera that has a mic attached to it. I haven't used it yet, but I'm going to start. I'd like to start vlogging, but I work from a telecommute standpoint, and what am I going to show you guys? I can't show you my work. I probably should have vlogged my move because I almost passed out towards the end of it. Towards the end of that last haul in that 26-foot U-Haul, almost lost it. My brother-in-law, so we took my freezer fully loaded with meat, tall freezer. It's got to be well over 1,000 pounds. We had a furniture dolly, and we were like, let's just load it full and we'll load that last, and then when we get to the new house, we'll just get it off the trailer. I said, but the thing is, man, it's heavy as hell. This dude's strong. I should say, he muscled that thing up with me behind it, up the ramp, into the U-Haul, literally with it holding that thing. We're talking 1,000 pounds. It's heavier. It's full of freaking packed meats. I mean, packed full. We actually have to lock it because the door pops open. And then he muscled it off the damn U-Haul, popped it in up over the our front door, and dropped it right in my kitchen. I'm like, man, this guy's a fucking beast. But I don't know. I'm kind of just rambling here. But yeah, drop some comments about content ideas, even for myself, or podcasts. If you're interested in podcasts, drop some ideas of what you would want to hear. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of news going on in the world, like always, and there's a lot of topics of conversation that we could discuss. We would do it, from like a virtual, like a Zoom type thing. Maybe sometimes we'd be in person with each other, but because of COVID and stuff, I don't want to catch that. He had that bug, and I don't want that. Anyway, I definitely appreciate y'all tuning in. I know I was going to give you the price of Litecoin. So it's $169 a coin right now. It went down 14% in the last 24 hours. The market cap is $11. Volume is $9. There's another thing. It doesn't have any utility based, so there's no security in it. Banks don't want to deal with it. And I don't know. But you can reserve hotels. You can buy off certain websites. But I know like banks like Wells Fargo, Chase, B of A, I'm telling you, they were going to shut my account down. And I was like, I don't want to do that. So just create a Coinbase account and check it out. But I definitely appreciate you tuning in. Stand by for them $1,400 checks. They should be going through. The House is going to vote today. I don't know if the Senate will remove that $15 minimum wage or not. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it gets done, gets passed. March 14th is right around the corner. March 1st is Monday. So hopefully you'll start seeing those checks mid-March to the end of March into April. And it'll be nice. You know what I mean? It'll be nice, especially like a family of 4 or a family of 6. You'll get a nice chunk of change. Unemployment is continuing to rise. 847,000 Americans filed for unemployment last week. If you watched Joe Biden speak the other night, he was literally all over the place, not making sense. Go look at CNN. It was this past Tuesday. I mean, he was like he forgot what his name was. I mean, he was just rambling. So anyway, y'all, maybe I'll drop a link to that, to Biden's thing in the old description box. But I definitely appreciate you tuning in. Have a great weekend. I don't know if I'll be on this weekend, but I definitely will catch you in the next one. Peace.